Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors and welcome back to Dark Nights. Last time we found out more about Shinoru's past and how everybody died. What happened before? It's been a while, I'm sorry. Were you okay? Yes, after all, I'm here before you. Can't imagine what it feels like to sleep for so long. Thank you for telling me about your past. Shinoru rubs his face. Let's go with this one. You can tell me anything. You can tell me anything. You've never bothered me. It only makes me feel worse about my lies. What do you mean? Thinking about it, I should not have hidden this for so long. Yeah, dick. I'm just kidding. Shinoru's head falls in shame. I take his hands in mine. It's all in the past and it wasn't your fault. You don't need to feel guilty forever. If you need someone to forgive you, then I will. He slowly looks up, smiling weakly. Your empathy continues to surprise me. I genuinely feel better, now that I have told you the entire story. I didn't expect so much scientific research behind the supernatural. Now I understand more of the current situation. Speaking of science, my parents were always into it. Perhaps I can look in their research history. That would be a great help. Thank you for considering. It's thanks to your story that gives me a lead. I reach my cup and realize it's already empty. Would you like another cup of tea? Yes, please. He quickly returns with tea and snacks. It seems like he is always well prepared for my visits. Why do you have snacks if you don't even eat them? I sometimes force myself to consume them. Doesn't it cause you immense pain? Yes, but I want my injuries to heal properly and it makes me look a bit healthier. The man blushes and nervously rubs the back of his neck. While we enjoy tea, I share my own past with Shinoru. Although it's not as exciting as his, he still seems intrigued by it. I always lose track of time when I'm with Shinoru. I barely remember to head home before nightfall. Chapter 4, Dark Days. Must be winter. After I have dinner, Ryoji comes to visit me. Forgot about him. Oh, fuck. Where are you today? I called you, you didn't pick up. Ikuya and I were worried. Oh, nothing serious. I just didn't feel well since I didn't get much sleep last night. Well, you did come all this way. Why don't you stay a bit longer? Let me make some tea. If you say so, sure. By the way, I brought your homework from today. You're welcome, slacker. Hehe, thanks. We chit-chat a little in the living room while having tea. It's been ages since Ryoji visited my place. It feels nostalgic. Have you heard any news about the investigation from your dad? Unfortunately, things have not been going well. The police had discovered more corpses, but they still haven't identified the culprit. The more time passes, the more pressure the team feels. Dad hasn't been home in days, so I have to deliver his meals to the station. I'm trying to help, but there's only so much a student can do. Ryoji sighs, rubbing his hand through his hair. He lets wander off to the newspaper on the table. He picks it up and flips through its pages, frowning upon noticing all the missing persons reports. This is strange. Here, it says Taru from class 1-E is missing, but I just saw her this morning. Usually new reports are only placed in the newspaper a minimum of 24 hours after the report. It makes no sense when she was at school. Well, did you notice anything strange about Taru? Oh no, I only caught a glimpse of her. She might be one of those affected people that Shinoru mentioned. Oh, also yesterday we captured footage of a suspect. If you want, I can show you the video. Really? Yeah, I don't recognize them, maybe you can. The footage is quite strange. I don't know how to explain it. My guess is either it was something supernatural or someone putting a lot of effort and making it appear that way. Well, we know it's not Chain. I miss Chain! I want an oops all Chain route. That's what I want. We may be able to work together to solve this problem, but I'll have to tell him about the zombies. By the way, can I sleep over tonight? I don't feel right leaving you alone, and it would put my mind at ease. Feel free to stay for as long as you want. There's a spare room you can use. We exchanged smiles before I head into the kitchen to start dinner. Today's meal is beef and potato stew. That's unexpected. I didn't know you could cook. Of course. What else did you expect from the great kitchen princess? Bad food, as far as I can remember. Pfft, I never actually cooked for you. Pre-made meals from the supermarket don't count. I honestly thought you made them yourself. I guess I was trying to show off, but it didn't work out very well, huh? Back then, I probably didn't even know how to turn on the stove. Heh, I remember that. I always thought it was weird that you walked out of the kitchen a minute later with a whole meal. It doesn't look bad. Luigi smiles after taking his first bite. I flip my hair and grin at him. I take a shower after we finish up. Once I return, I find Luigi in the living room. Here's the video. Fucking god damn it! Ah! I know that sleeve. I watch the dark screen as Luigi plays the video. He's actually running up a wall. And who are those shadows behind him? Luigi pokes my shoulder and stares intently at the screen. I think the first person in the video is a student. The ones after him, though, I'm not too sure. It's too dark to see. A student? I'll look into the registry later. Do you think this is fake? I've rewatched the video several times, but I still can't figure out how we did it. I have no clue either. Anyway, should you focus on the people in the background? I'm considering it. By the way, Luigi, there's something I need to tell you. I'm hard to believe, but... Well, there are zombies roaming around the village. Some of them have even murdered people. Luigi speechlessly gawks at me, although he seems to believe me. Don't ask me how it all started, just... If you have any ideas on how to stop zombies, you should tell the investigators. Say, how did you find out about the zombies? I had a few run-ins with them. Sorry I didn't tell you earlier, but I was kind of in denial about it. Two heads are better than one, right? Heh, agreed. Give Luigi a playful nudge. It's kinda late. You can take a shower. Alright, let's get to this later. At night I sleep with ease, as a great weight has been lifted from my chest. The next day. In the morning, Luigi wakes me up in time for school. I'm thankful, considering I forgot to set an alarm. So this is why you're almost late to class every day. You're lucky that I'm here. I'm always on time in the end. Besides, it isn't your problem to begin with, nosy. I'm just helping you out. After preparing for the day and eating breakfast, we head to school together. On the way to school, we cross paths with Blaze and Jace. I wave to them with a friendly smile, but only Jace replies with a short wave. Since when have you guys been friendly with each other? Since I showed them around the school, they're pretty okay. This might be a rude question, but do you know why they always wear bandages? You should ask them yourself. No, I would have to wait for the right moment. Blaze suddenly turns toward us. For a moment I thought he heard us. But then I reasoned that we were too far apart. Luigi freezes up as he notices Blaze's glare. I chuckle as he averts his gaze from the twins. A short while later, we reach the schoolyard. We enter the classroom. Ikuya walks up to us. Hey, look what I found at the bookstore. I thought you might be interested. The art style seems familiar. Have you shown me one of the author's works before? Pinlands? You might have seen their illustrations before, but this is their first novel. Looks interesting. I'll let you know when I'm done reading it. In the middle of class, my mind shifts to Blaze and Jace. There has to be a way to convince Shinobu and the twins to work together. We're on the same side, aren't we? I notice Mr. Blanchett looking my direction as if he knows I'm not paying attention. I quickly gazed down at my textbook and followed the lecture. After that is the lunch break. I'm about to head to the canteen when a voice called out to me. Hey! Could you stare at us any harder? A poke on my shoulder catches me off guard. What are you talking about? You've been staring at Blaze and me for an hour straight. Shouldn't you pay attention to the lesson, Miss Airhead? Just kidding. Chris casually pulls the chair next to mine before taking a seat and resting his arms on my desk. I spot Ryoji and Ikuya, who wave at me before walking off, presumably assuming I want to be left alone. Reva's focus is the masquerade ball. How did the ghosts catching go? We send it back to where it belongs, of course. I was worried that you guys might not have been able to kill it when I heard it might have been a zombie. Now, it was the legendary school ghost. Have you never heard of it? I don't really know much about the local legends. You're kidding. As a student, you should at least know the rumors about your own school. Pfft, don't let me in with everyone else who goes here. Jace chuckles and shrugs. By the way, I'm curious about something. How old are you, really? Never ask for a gentleman's age. Why do you want to know? I've heard a few stories, and I figure if I can find out how old everyone was at the time, I understand the situation better. I'll let you guess. 1,234,567,890 years old. He just spit out random numbers. He lets out a sigh as he rests his face upon the back of his hand. With the corner of my eye, I catch Blaze looking in our direction. Based on his crossed arms, he appears to be in a bad mood. Then again, he always seems to be grumpy. You could ignore him, he just likes to watch you. Ew. Just kidding. I'm sure he's only keeping an eye on me. Making sure I don't tell you too much. Heh. Remember at the ball, he figured I spilled the beans. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, my brother hates being gossiped about. If you have something to ask, he wants you to bring it to him. And well, I run my mouth a little too much sometimes. Hehe. Not that it matters, honestly. As soon as our job is done here, we're leaving this village. Where will you move to? Wherever we're needed. Nothing is worse than being bored and useless. Wouldn't you agree? I grin and nod my head. After class, I quickly head home. With the continuous disappearances, I cannot shake off my worry. Holding my bag tightly, I walk through the empty streets. Suddenly, someone jumps out of a side street. Reflexively, I step back and hold my bag in front of me. A yelp escapes my lips before I realize who it is. Whoa! It's just me, idiot. Oh, deep sigh and lower my bag. He stares at me, forcing the silence to drag on. In the end, he wordlessly turns around and walks ahead of me. Catch up to him, match his pace. So how your class is going? Fine. I'm getting along with the classmates. Jace seems to be integrating well. But I'm a bit concerned about you. Luke remains silent. It feels like we're back at square one. You know, I told the police about the zombies. I don't want to mess up your guys' job, but I thought it was the right thing to do. If anything, I should have told them the truth a long time ago. It's not that I didn't have faith in you and Jace, but there are too many of those monsters for two people to be able to handle alone. I see. I pause when Blaze releases an exasperated sigh. You. Here I've been forced to make a difficult decision. When we have to choose between feeling guilty or regretful. Choosing neither isn't an option either. Yeah, I've made plenty of choices that led to regret. Sometimes I wasn't even aware of it until after the fact. Blaze, is there anything I could help you with? No, it has to do with my job. You won't understand. For as much as I don't know about you, you don't know about me either. You know what they say about assumptions. Blaze tiredly rubs his forehead before glancing at the ground, his shoulders singing with relaxation. Marry and you will regret it. Don't marry and you will also regret it. Marry or don't marry, you will regret it either way. Laugh at the world's foolishness, you will regret it. Or weep over it, you will regret that too. Laugh at the world's foolishness, or weep over it, you will regret both. Despite knowing the outcome, I delayed my choices. Look at what this village has become. Just my piece of advice, don't end up like me. Did I ever make wrong choices? This starts to faces me once again. There's no right or wrong. Just what you want to achieve. In that case, I haven't achieved what I wanted, solving the cases. Then you've done it wrong. What do you suggest I do? I can't decide for you. Look at the past and reflect on your choices. Silence falls between us as I'm thinking about what has happened in the past few months. What Blaze told me is that any choice can cause regret. What matters is that I make one. By the way, I don't know what Shinodu told you about me, but I understand if you now view me in a certain light. There's few things about what happened in the past, but I don't judge someone merely on rumors in the first place. You must have had your reasons. That's right. Even though he does not explain, I can put the puzzle pieces together about his past with Shinodu. He drops his hands into his pocket before shrugging goodbye to me. I intended to know more about him, but he ended up giving me advice. Even though we don't interact much, he always seems to know me thoroughly. Perhaps it was something general. I'm not the only one struggling with difficult choices. While I ruminate, a familiar voice calls me to jump. Heart racing, I turn around. Fancy meeting you here, miss. Hi. Hi, Shinodu. What are you doing up? Oh, what are you up to? I've been wandering through the neighborhood. The increase in reported missing people has me concerned. Things must swiftly advance my plan to cull the zombie infestation. Just tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I've already told the police about it, so hopefully they'll be able to do something. I'm glad. Oh, that reminds me. Did you go out a few days ago? Indeed, why do you ask? Now, you were caught running on a wall on a security camera. No. Shinodu bites his lip, seeming a bit embarrassed. How much could you see? You weren't in full sight, don't worry. But, there are people chasing you too. I know you aren't hurting anyone, but please be more careful. Thank you for your concern, miss. I will certainly be more careful in the future. Shinodu gently beams at me. If you have no other plans today, perhaps you would not mind stopping by the mansion? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I smile and nod my head. As we enter the living room, a fresh, sweet scent greets my nose. I quickly notice a few vases of white lilies in the corner, making the place appear livelier than before. Why the new decor? I've always quite liked lilies. I thought the room could use a bit more brightening. In a flower language, lilies mean innocence and devotion. They suit you. A light blush appears on Shinodu's cheek before he turns away. He's become a lot more energetic since we first met. I'm glad. I drop my bag and make myself comfortable on the couch. I pull out the book Ikuya lent me earlier and examine the cover. It's called Recollections. It's a picture book, huh? I haven't seen many of these for sale lately. Shinodu returns carrying a tray with teacups and places them on the table in front of me. Ah, do you like picture books? A surprising choice. Very interesting, but not particularly. My friend just lent me this one. My father used to read picture books to me and before bed as a child. I believe some of them are still in the attic, but it's been a long time since I went up there. Perhaps I should read through them next time I have a day off. Count me in. I want to see what kind of stories you read as a kid. Shinodu pauses for a long moment, then averts his eyes, a soft smile playing on his lips. They're honestly quite unremarkable, but if you wish, you may borrow a few. I think I'll take you up on that. Thanks! My eyes shift to the book I'm holding. Shinodu follows my glance and smiles. We're about to read your book. Please, do not mind me. Do not mind me. Want to read it with me? I scoot closer to him, smiling as I place half of the book on each of our laps. I open it to the first page. What's this up here? These days I carry an umbrella to use as a weapon. no one will see it coming and will likely not be used against me. It's not the best choice of item, but I've been practicing swings and landing hits. In any case, I'll keep this log for future events. Inexistent memories. My hand lowers upon realizing we have to start over again. Oricha encourages me on, even though I do not believe this will work. She hands the material to me, urging me to continue building our castle. I do not remember how many times we have unsuccessfully tried this before, but somehow the pieces finally fit together. She stares at me with a cheeky grin, as if she predicted the whole thing. Why didn't you take the lead if you knew the solution? I ask. That wouldn't have been any fun, Waden. You wouldn't have learned anything, Oricha answered. I pout, knowing there is no chance of me winning this argument. Since then, 10 years have passed. Ever since I moved, I have seen Oricha less and less often. Before, she would come to pass the time with me on most days. Maybe our lives have become busier. Maybe things between us have changed. I cannot help but wonder if my life will ever go back to the way it used to be. Waden, I got something for you on my trip. Oricha greets me with a hug and hands over a gift box. We've not seen each other in months, yet it feels like we spoke yesterday. The casualness of our interaction puts me at ease. After her departure, I return to my usual way of living. Day in, day out. I repeat the same actions over and over. Day in and day out. Nothing changes. 5 years pass. I have not heard from Oricha in a while. Her birthday is coming up, and I plan to pay her a visit. And I plan to visit her in the city as a surprise, once I learn how to read. Over the last few days, I've gone through old photo albums and collected pictures of us together. I think binding them together to make a book would be a thoughtful gift. While I'm on my way to visit my friend, the guilt of not contacting her as often as I should have eats at me. Her mother opens the door. When I ask where Oricha is, she leads me to the living room. Upon a shelf in a nearby closet, there's a large framed photograph of my friend. Bouquets of white flowers and lit candles surround the picture. I place the book I made next to the frame. My chest aches at the regret of not having made more memories with her. I space out while staring at the last line. It takes a nudge from Shinodu for me to realize that I have reached the end of the story. But that was unexpected. It's kinda sad. Did they not talk to each other at all over those 5 years? It's difficult to say. It's supposed to be left to the reader's interpretation. Life is not unlimited. Everything must come to an end. It's simply a question of when. It is every person's own responsibility to make the most of the time allotted to them. But the protagonist failed in that regard. However, he may yet make up for it in the future. It is better to regret not doing something than regret actually taking action, isn't it? That would depend on what one did. As for myself, rather than become fixated on mere possibilities, I wish to focus on decisions I can make in the future. On roads untraveled, there may be opportunities to redeem oneself. Shinodu gently smiles at me. We spend the rest of the afternoon chit-chatting. Thankfully, speaking with Shinodu puts my restless mind at ease. As I finish my third cup of tea, I decide to head home. You're drinking this man out of house and home! The sun is about to set when I reach my place. I take a long gaze at the peaceful, empty street before walking inside. Next day. I miss Chain! I miss him so much! I continue browsing through the newspapers of previous days. I nearly finished eating breakfast when the doorbell startles me. Jace, what are you doing at this hour? Jace, leave me alone! Good morning. Mind if I come in for a moment? I look the man up and down. Although I have a bad feeling about this, I move aside and let him in. Sorry for disturbing you. You can go ahead and finish your meal. Is there something you want to tell me? His glasses around the living room as if he's inspecting the place. He walks around and touches the furniture with a curious expression. Do you live alone? Just for now. My parents are on a business trip overseas. But you ever get scared? I must still feel safe. No, I know the neighborhood has been lively lately, but I'm fine. You know, me and my brother are taking care of those cases. We'll do our best to retrieve the missing people. Jace gives him a mischievous grin and then abruptly turning away. He sits on the couch nonchalantly and continues. I already told the police about the zombies. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the right thing to do at the time, but I told my friend everything I knew. Honestly, I should have told them earlier. I just wasn't sure if they could do anything about the supernatural stuff. My brother and I will take care of it. We have decided to continue our job. Didn't even know you were on break. Hehe. It might seem hypocritical of me to decide what's for the best, but I want the village to be peaceful again. The longer I live, the blurrier my senses of justice become. Strong emotions only make it worse. The gatekeepers always work in pairs, for that same reason, to keep each other grounded. The incident with Shinoru left us in confusion, but we know what to do now. And that would be... It just tightens in anticipation. We decided to end things with him here. With Shinoru. Wait, why? Luis and I have a theory that Shinoru is directly linked to whatever is causing the villagers to turn into those monsters. So, if we get rid of the cause, that might prevent that. Walk straight over to Jace and grab him by the tie. He has one for a moment, but he keeps the composure. Who says that's the only solution? Who say that it isn't? There is something we should have done a long time ago. You never should have been able to meet him in the first place. I'm telling you this because I know you're close to him. We're running out of time. Release Jace as slowly step back. Takes a moment for his words to sink in. Shinoru, I need to see him. Overcome with anxiety, I rush out the front door. Jace calls out to me, but my mind is only focused on one thing right now. Once I reach the old mansion, I head for the secret passage. I notice a number of plucked white lilies lining the path to the backyard. Like a grim omen, I get the distinct feeling that I should follow them, my heart beating faster the further I walk. I search my surroundings, my eyes stopping at the sight of Blaze. I hold my breath as I spot his bloodied hands. He slowly turns around while avoiding looking me in the eyes. My legs feel weak, but I step forward. The man silently walks past me, and my focus is drawn to the sight left before me. Shinoru is laying upon a flower bed, unmoving. Bloodstains blot the bandages around his neck. I fall to my knees and my vision becomes blurry. For I know my sight was distorted. I can see a colorless, liquid blobs. I try to speak, but my voice is so soft I can barely hear it myself. Shinoru. 1 month later. The village has become quieter recently. Although more corpses have been uncovered, many of the missing people were located and rescued. The culprit was never found, if there ever was one. My hands shakily clutch the bouquet as I stare at the grave before me. The last memory I have of Shinoru was that night. I cannot get that picture out of my mind. Hey, it's Blaze! It takes a moment for me to notice the nearby presence. I tilt my umbrella upward to see Jace in a black suit carrying a bouquet of lilies. I bent down to put my bouquet on the grave, and he follows my example. He seems slowly becoming more drenched, but he does not seem to mind. Shortly after, I begin walking down the path. I turn around to glance at Blaze one last time, but he's already gone. Why is that the normal end? No! Oh no! No, I don't like it. fucking bullshit. Alright. I thank you, game, for speaking for me. I guess we will... Fuck. Head back over here. Go to this one. We did this one. We did this one. I think we're gonna go Forest Dweller next. Hang out with the druid. But I am gonna end this episode here, because I like to give them all their own chance at the spotlight. That was just not a normal ending. Get fucked. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you later.